presentations has Process Explorer installed and ready for use. On the first launch of the program, you'll be asked to accept the license. The programs we'll talk about now, Process Explorer and Process Monitor, are freeware. They can be downloaded from Microsoft websites. Let's first see how the Process Explorer works. It's obvious at a glance that the application differs from the system tool. The shown processes are sorted into a hierarchical order, a process tree view that shows child and parent processes. As you can see, the Explorer process also started other processes. If you run a command line interface and launch a calculator in it, you'll be able to see that a command line interface has been started in the system environment, and that it started the calculator in turn. The feature that allows you to view the process hierarchy is very helpful. You can see there that there are very many processes that are top level. Let's see why. Right-clicking on a process displays a list of operations. You can, for example, terminate a selected process. After killing the command line process, the calculator is still running, but moves to the top of the tree. Windows systems, unlike Linux or Unix systems, don't track or store information on child-parent relationship processes. Windows can't rebuild the relationships in any way. The system seems to consider this as redundant. In the majority of cases, terminating a parent process will cause its child process to move up in the process hierarchy. What else sets Process Explorer and Windows Task Manager apart? For a start, Process Explorer returns greater amounts of information. Let's analyze the SCV hosts process. There can be several SCV hosts exe processes listed. SVC hosts runs many times, and it's actually not certain what processes the program has launched. One of the most common problems you can encounter with your computer is that SVC hosts can use up over 99% of your CPU. And we don't even know what it does or if it can be terminated. These questions can't be answered because SVC hosts is simply a program that helps other processes run. And the problem is that Windows Task Manager doesn't display its child processes. Hovering a mouse over a selected process in Process Explorer is enough to discover that this instance of SVC host launched 2 services. By right-clicking on a process, you can also select Properties. The properties display not only the path of the selected file and its configuration parameters, but also shows services that have been launched by it and their directories. Tracking individual elements is simple. It's also easier to notice suspicious processes. You can also view in Process Explorer the provider of a selected piece of software and see if the application is described. Also, the icon of the program is visible. All these features are missing from Windows Explorer. By clicking on the properties of a process, you can see if it establishes any network connections. If it does, you'll be able to see the computers to which it connects. You can also move to the Strings tab and see all strings that can be found in the file from which the process is run. If this file is encrypted, you can display information directly from memory. You can check it for any suspicious content. If the file is compressed, it will be highlighted in a bright color in the program's main window. As we mentioned, many unwanted programs can be loaded directly as system drivers. Let's see if there's anything that can be done with this problem. After highlighting the system process, you'll be able to open the program's lower pane. The pane shows references, for example, the operations executed by a selected process or libraries loaded by the process. In the case of a specific process-like system, the lower pane will contain all loaded and running drivers. You can display the properties of drivers in the same manner. The properties will include the directory in which the driver is stored and the strings that can be found in the file. If something seems alarming but you're not absolutely certain that it's malware, you can right-click on the selected process and click on Search Online. This will open a default web browser with search results. You'll be able to read the opinions and comments on the process online. Process Explorer shows processes run by child processes, process tree, and overall returns much more data on selected processes than Windows Task Manager does, including path, description, and icons. The tool also offers a feature for displaying operations executed by a process or the libraries it created. If the process is the system process, we'll see a list of drivers loaded into memory. The program offers detailed information on all selected objects, including strings that are contained inside the process or its binary image. Another edge it has over Windows Explorer is the Find option. After it's run, you can select any window. Once it's selected, the main window of the Explorer will highlight the process that created the selected window on the screen. Often your desktop may contain elements whose origin is unknown. The Find feature may help us identify them with ease. New processes will be highlighted in green for a moment, while processes that are terminated show in red. This feature is very handy since if a process you end will restart after a while, this will be clearly noticeable in the main window as rows will be highlighted in green and red. The last option that can help us identify unwanted software is the feature for verifying signatures. Let's take a look at sump.exe. If the file was digitally signed, the Image tab would show an option for verifying the signature's correctness. We'd be able to see if the certificate is valid and whether or not the file had been modified. We'll examine quickly a process that is potentially signed digitally. For example, pros.exp.exe. Since we've selected Global Verification, the Verify button is not active. At the top of the window, you can see that the program is not simply claimed to be Microsoft's, but that it has in fact been signed by a Microsoft certificate. This difference is crucial. Process Explorer will be better in detecting unwanted software than the System Task Manager. It'll give you the tools for investigating and looking into processes that are suspicious. You can see what the processes do. You can check if they have a valid signature and also see which programs are network processes. And with that, we've arrived at the end of the Process Explorer overview. We'll come back to this program in a moment, trying to stop sketchy processes or remove them from a system in some other way. Thank you.